They say they're protecting their university. They use anything they can get their hands on to create barricades. Campuses have emerged as the latest front in battles with the police. These students are determined to fight for their freedom.
This is a fight for the whole generation. We are not letting those police change our good place, our home.
It doesn't take long for things to escalate. The familiar click of tear gas being fired. Scenes like this play out across Hong Kong, like here in the financial centre. They're now seemingly a normal part of 5 months of unresolved protests. The police say this city is on the brink of a breakdown. Journeys, daily life disrupted after protesters threw debris on the tracks. This man, asked what he'll do, says the protests leave him no choice but to go home and not work. Police and protesters accuse each other of brutality. On Monday, the protesters set a man on fire after an argument. Police are investigating the incident as attempted murder. They've also defended shooting a protester, saying they were concerned for their own safety.
In a situation like this, we believe we're acting according to the guidelines to protect ourselves as well as the people around us.
With more protests expected, the fear on both sides is that the already volatile situation is only likely to get worse.
Correspondent Mathias Bölinger has been covering the protests from the beginning and joins us now from Hong Kong. Mathias, the police there are warning that the city is on the brink of a total breakdown. What's your impression?
Well, I am now not very far from the central business district, one of the center of today's clashes, where Chinese banks have been vandalized and police and protesters have been charging at each other. As you can see, shops here are working, so people somehow do get along. But what is true is that we have seen an escalation in violence in these last 2 days that is unprecedented. There have been clashes all over the city until late at night. Before the clashes used to end sometime around midnight, latest 2 o'clock this morning. It was until very early. Protesters have occupied campus, have fought back police for the first time since these demonstrations or these protests started. So there is there is an escalation. Both sides are hardening. There's no doubt about that.
Mathias, these protests seem to have taken on a life of their own now. Do the demonstrators still have clear demands that have any chance of being met?
They have very clear demands. They have 5 demands, and one of them has been met. That's the withdrawal of this anti-extradition bill. There is a very important demand for an independent investigation into the police, something that would probably ease tensions here, but the protesters are saying all their 5 demands must be met, including universal suffrage, democratic elections. That is very unlikely that this will be met, considering that Beijing has to make a decision on that, and we have a hardline government in Beijing, highly ideological, that will not meet this demand. Furthermore, the chief executive has said she is not willing to meet any of the demands, saying that this will just give them a sense of that they achieve something with violence. So she thinks the best way to deal with this is not meeting their demands. She's been doing this for 4 months. It's her assessment, obviously, why she thinks that this is working.
Mathias, what do you expect to happen there today?
We are seeing further clashes in different parts of the city, and the university that has been occupied yesterday, where the police has been pushed out of campus, is of course at the center today. We are not sure now how the police is going to react. Most people expect that at some point they will try to come back there. The protesters, I have seen it yesterday, have prepared hundreds of Molotov cocktails to meet them. So this is, of course, a very, very volatile, a very, very worrying situation.
Mathias, thank you very much for bringing us up to date there. Correspondent Mathias Bölinger in Hong Kong.